help to middle-class families. And joining me now is Republican Conference Chair, Representative Adam Putnam from Bartow. Thank you for taking the time. What a day yesterday.
What a week.
It did not pass. Why?
Well, there were problems, obviously, on both sides of the aisle. There were members on the Democratic side and members on the Republican side who, for polar opposite reasons, did not want to go along with this particular bill. Some don't believe that the problem is real. Some don't like the solution. But I've got to tell you, what we're seeing in the credit markets, what we're seeing in the consumer crunch, what we're seeing in small businesses' access to funds proves that Congress has to do something, and it needs to be done on a bipartisan basis as soon as possible.
I'm getting messages from people, instant messages, messages through my email, phone calls. People are angry that the government is going to hand over all this money to companies who basically screwed up. And they wouldn't come and bail out me if I had a business that failed. They're angry, but they need to get past that, don't they?
Well, there's a lot of legitimate anger out there that greed on Wall Street is now infecting Main Street. But the price of doing nothing is far greater than the price of intervention. We are seeing this roll like a hurricane across the Gulf. One bank after another failing. Money markets closing down, something that really undermines confidence of the average guy out there, the average businessman or businesswoman out there. We're seeing firms that survived the Great Depression not survive the last 2 weeks.
That was shocking. I mean, these are names that we've always heard, and now they've disappeared.
Banks
and
that
yesterday, Wachovia was split up.
Yeah, Wachovia was teetering on the brink of collapse. They got bought for $1 a share. Washington Mutual had 2,200 branches around the country. IndyMac, a bank in California, had pictures of people lined up around the block to get their money back. That is not acceptable in the United States, and the government has an opportunity here to move in a smart way to purchase some of these toxic mortgage-backed securities and get liquidity back into this marketplace.
We have some viewer questions. Heather writes, why, if the bailout is good for the economy, does a partisan speech have anything to do with anyone's vote? Shouldn't it be what's good for the economy? I think she's talking about what happened yesterday.
She is a very good point. Look, this was a compromise worked out by the leaders of both parties, and there was a very measured tone to all of the speeches except one. It should not have changed anyone's vote. It should not have. But it was an issue and a very delicate compromise. It was kind of it was throwing a match into a tool shed full of gasoline, but it should not have changed the vote. What is more important is that we figure out how to move forward. We have to act. If the bill that went down yesterday is not acceptable, we've got to find a bill that is.
You're going to rework it? Absolutely. Or start over? You can't really start over,
there's no time to start over.
I was going to say.
We need to adjust the bill.
Gotta Know You Too says or asks, what has Mr. Putnam done, oh, this one's directly to you, or not done as a member of the subcommittee throughout his 8 years in Washington that might have averted this financial crisis?
Great question. I've just shot Gotta Know You Too back an answer. It is a fair question to say, what could Congress have done to have averted this mess, and what is Congress going to do to prevent a future mess? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the government-sponsored enterprises that underwrite over half of the mortgages in this country, they are a big part of the problem. You look at the golden parachutes that those CEOs got. Going back to 2002, when I was finishing my rookie term as Congress, I co-sponsored legislation, and again the next Congress, to bring Fannie and Freddie under the regulation of the Securities and Exchange Commission, putting them under the same regulations that investment banks and other banks are under. And I wish that would have passed, because I think we could have avoided some of the turmoil that we've seen with and the bailout that we had to do weeks ago of Fannie and Freddie.
Well, I hope it can be fixed and we're on our way to recovery.
I think we can. The Senate will be in Wednesday night. I'm hopeful that they will take up the bill that did not pass the House, make some changes, send it to the House. Hopefully we can pre-negotiate that and have this resolved by the end of the week.
And not dilly-dally.
No dilly-dally.
All right.
People are concerned.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And you can still ask Congressman Putnam a question on TampaBase10.com. But right now, let's check in with 10 News meteorologist Chris Sushan. Chris?
Okay, Marty. Well, tell you what. but a little bit of a soggy go of it this morning into the afternoon, although some sun starting to break out in a few spots. So you see a live look at Busch Gardens, where right now it's fairly overcast. And again, a little bit of rain in some spots we're going to show you here in just a little bit. I'm going to take you to the weather bug with the temperatures right now around the region. And there you'll see the 70s.